Welcome to Derry is halfway through its first season. So today, I'm going to review the season thus far and explain why it is honestly just a really frustrating season of television for me. Before I dive into my review, please make sure to subscribe, hit the like button, and hit the bell, and comment down below what are your opinions on It Welcome to Derry's episode 1, 2, 3, and 4. And if you haven't seen them, are you excited to watch it? What are your opinions on the other two It movies? Or if it's not really your thing, explain why in the comment section. Let's just have a good conversation down there. And with that said, like I said when I reviewed episode 1, because there is already a review of episode 1, I would have put the link up here somewhere, so go check out that review before you watch this one. But like I said, I was very much looking forward to the show because I'm a massive fan of the movies. Yes, I'm a defender of the second movie. I showed my brother the first movie just a couple of weeks ago, and I love that movie, and really that rewatch reaffirmed my love for it. And so I was very excited for the show. That first episode really disappointed. And it hurts to say that after that first episode, I still have not gotten fully invested in the season. I still am not enjoying the show. Now, there are moments I love in here. But overall, you have two individual plots here. You have the plot with the adults and the military and tracking down Pennywise. All that is great stuff. But then you have the stuff with the kids. And it feels like they're trying to manufacture a loser club situation, but it's just not working. And a big reason for that not working is because our characters in this show are not as near as likable as the loser club in the first movie. In fact, I'm not enjoying any scene in this movie with the kids in it. Now, we'll dive more into that here in a few minutes throughout this video, but I want to talk about the stuff I really do enjoy out of this show. And something I really like is the fact that it's kind of unique when it comes to the military subplot. Because when the rumors came out that the government would be looking for Pennywise to attack the enemies, I saw that rumor and I thought, that is the dumbest thing that they could possibly do with the show. But the way that it's being represented in the show is actually really quite interesting, and I'm fully on invested in it. Whether you have Dick Hallorann, who is the guy from The Shining that has the shine and is using that power to track Pennywise, which I think is just really cool. Or you have the Flyman subplot with that family, the Hanlon family, which I find really interesting as well, the family drama that's going on there, and everything with Will Hanlon in the military. I'm really enjoying all that stuff, and it's kind of just a unique spin. Like, what if the U.S. government learned about Pennywise? Would they try to weaponize Pennywise? And it is a really neat idea. I don't think it's certainly the smartest thing they could have done here, but I do like the idea. Speaking of Pennywise, I am really happy that we haven't seen him yet. I'm seeing a lot of people say that it is really dumb that Pennywise isn't in the show, that we're focusing on all of his other figures. And I look at that criticism and I think, what are you talking about? Pennywise, or it is not just Pennywise. It manifests the fear that you have. And so it's kind of cool. And the way I interpret it is, it's kind of like in part 1, or a first act of the It movie, where you saw the first act and we saw Pennywise in the sewer drain where he eats Georgie. And I think that is just a really good way to introduce that movie. But it's not till another hour or so till we actually see Pennywise, because throughout the entire movie, we see his various forms scaring the kids, and that's kind of what it's doing here. Throughout his various forms, we've seen ghost kids, we've seen a demon deer, we've seen figures of dead parents. It's all very cool, and I don't get the criticism because that is what it is. It's just the manifestation of fear, and I like that we haven't seen it. And when we see its eyes or just hear the little voices, that is really cool, because the way that we're not seeing him, just like in the movie, it makes, when he's finally on screen, it makes that weight of him being Pennywise the Dancing Clown much better than him being throughout an entire 8-episode season where we just see him and he's like, oh, there's Pennywise. The wait is worth it. I imagine we're going to see him within the next 2 episodes. But that's pretty much where the positives lie. I love the adult plot line, and I love that we're not seeing Pennywise. And when it's that, I'm really enjoying the show. I'm really enjoying diving into that plot. But the other half of the show is the kids stuff. And I am just not invested in the kids stuff whatsoever. Not only because the performances are bad, and I'm sorry, I don't like to hate on kid actors because they're just kids. But when you look at It Chapter 1, and the kid actors in there, they felt so natural, and you love the characters from the start. In this show, you don't like any of these characters. Whether you have Rose, and she's upset that her dad's gonna die and hates everyone because her dad's gonna die. Will is the only character. Will Hanlon is the only kid character that I do not despise. But then you have the crazy girl, I can't even remember her name right now, where she's just really blatantly unlikable because she just comes off as whiny the whole time. You have Rico or somebody, I forget his name too, where his whole thing is that he just won't stop talking. Now you look at that and you think, well, you got the whiny guy. That's Stanley from It. You got the guy who won't stop talking. Well, who's that? That's Finn Wolfhard's character. They're trying to manufacture their own loser club. They're trying to make their own version of the loser club, and it comes off as unnatural. Because in It Chapter 1, you love those characters. You fall in love with those characters. And here, it just feels like they're trying to do the same thing, have the same characters, do the same things, except the performances are very unnatural. And whether that's a script problem or a performance problem, because what they say is not natural. The way they say it is not natural, and it just comes across as just really stale and kind of cringe, honestly. While I'm watching the show, I'm genuinely cringing at a lot of the lines that these actors are saying because it doesn't make sense. The teen drama is just all manufactured, and it's all manufactured and doesn't come off as feeling real. It comes off as, oh, this has to happen because the show says it has to happen, and the performances are just stale, and it's just not entertaining to watch. Whether you get the end of episode 3, riding through the graveyard. That whole ending where they're trying to take the pictures, and then the graveyard starts breaking, and they take pictures of kids and they're running away, is genuinely terrible stuff. Not only is the CGI bad, and again, a lot of problems that people say are the CGI with Andy Muschietti's movies and shows. I don't have a problem with it in the It universe. Quite obviously, I had a problem with it in the Flash movie, but I don't have it here. But the CGI at the end of episode 3 is just terrible. Feels like knockoff Goosebumps. And it's just, it's bad. And the characters are, there's a ghost, This isn't Goosebumps. This isn't Ghostbusters. This is It. Like, It is going to eat these kids, and it just comes across as feeling PG and just too kiddie, and not only that, but the CGI is pretty terrible. And then you get episode 4, where I do think there are some solid sequences. I enjoy the sequence with Will being dragged under the water. I enjoyed the sequence with the Marge as she has the things popping out of her eyes. That's actually probably my favorite sequence from the entire show. I did really enjoy that sequence where she gets the saw and she's going to cut those things out of her eyes. Just because it makes me cringe. Like, I don't want to see that. Anytime you do something like that, I'm going to cringe because it's just a pet peeve of mine. But that is a really good scene. But there are some good scenes there. But then the performances are still, Marge, don't do that. Again, it feels very PG and kind of lowers the weight of it because you don't come off as being naturally scared. You feel like you're faking it the entire time because of the performances and how boring and kind of generic they are. Episode 2 is by far the best episode because it focuses mainly on the military plot. Like, we're starting to get some answers. We're starting to set up for the season on that side of the plot. And I really enjoy that episode. But then you get episode 3 and 4 and 1 where we're focusing on the kids, trying to manufacture a loser club situation. And it comes off as just dull and stupid and campy and not as near as scary or natural as the movies were. And so I just don't like that at all. I gotta talk about the end of episode 4. Episode 4, the ending was unique. We start to dive into its origins, but at the same time, I feel like they could have done it better. You literally have a kid voice acting over all the stuff happening, explaining what's happening. Just, here you go, trauma dump. Here you go, exposition dump. And doesn't come off as natural. And it's just like, oh, here's a bunch of answers. and it kind of, you know exactly what's going to happen next. But still, like, the Moose stuff was pretty cool. And again, you have the stuff with Dick Hanlon, who is using the shine, and where we're going to head leaves off to, like, oh, where are we going next? What's going to happen next? And so I was kind of mixed come on that, but yeah, I feel like a big problem I have here is the script. Like I said, the performances are rough, but I kind of teased this earlier, is the script is not good. The script, not only, like I said, has the exposition dump, but it has these cringe lines of dialogue, and it just, nothing feels natural because it feels like it's just being manufactured in. And so, a lot of this show I'm really enjoying. I'm really having a good time watching it. I'm really invested in what happens next, and it's what keeps making me click on the next episode. But then you get the stuff with the kids, or you get, like, the dumb scenes with the exposition dump. And it's just such a frustrating watch, because I'm seeing people say, It Welcome to Derry's awesome. And I'm thinking, there's so much that is awesome in the show, but I just can't enjoy it, because we have all this stuff that is just dragging it down. And so it's a very frustrating watch for me. I hope that the second half of the season is much better. I will continue to watch, but so far, I'm pretty negative on the show. I'm very disappointed by the show. It is not as good as the movies were, which sucks because it's Andy Machete who did the movies doing it. So, like, you have the same talent here. Skarsgård is back. You have the same talent here. You are trying to manufacture something that needs to come off as natural, and it doesn't. So, that was my review of the first half of It Welcome to Derry. I know I was quite a bit negativity in this review, but I do want to know, what are your opinions on It Welcome to Derry? Are you one of the people that thinks that the show is awesome so far, or are you incredibly frustrated with it like me? And if you haven't seen it, what are your opinions on the movies? And with that said, thank you guys for clicking on this video. With that said, subscribe.